Hello. The year is 2014, and Scott Cawthon releases what very well could have been his last video game. See, he had made Chipper and Sons Lumber Co., a game that received criticisms for having disturbing character designs, so Scott takes that and decides to apply it to his next game. On August 8, 2014, he releases Five Nights at Freddy's, and it blows up. Now, over 11 years later, FNAF is a $1 million franchise that has expanded across multiple games, books, movies, and toys. And with the fans and the fame also came this ridiculously convoluted lore. Each new entry to this franchise gives players more and more puzzles to decipher this insane story that is FNAF. And here I am. Hi, I'm Jay, and I'm a FNAF fan. Every single person you ask has a different retelling on how some of the events went down with Fazbear Entertainment, the Aftons, and a whole bunch of other random nonsense that you're gonna get into later. So, here I am, trying to present what I hope is a good and comprehensible retelling. Some of these details might be a little fuzzy in the timeline, but I'm sure we can make it work out. So, without further ado, this is Five Nights at Freddy's.
Welcome, potential buyers, to Edwin Murray's Costume Manor.
This is Edwin Murray. This is his dad. His dad owns MCM, Murray's Costume Manor. They make costumes. Murray Sr. dies and leaves the company to Edwin. Edwin rebrands to start making new and wacky inventions that he's always wanted to. He goes on to invent things like a sentient robot vacuum cleaner, as well as the concept of recycling. But no one cares about that because you can pet the vacuum and it makes you feel happy. Everyone loves the Cleanovac. People see Cleanovac, people buy Cleanovac. MCM is rich. Edwin makes more inventions, but those ones kinda suck. That one's dangerous, that one's faulty over there. Yeah. Edwin starts taking on more clients and more projects, but too many things in too little time leads to everything sort of failing inside of the company. Well, not everything. See, he has a wife, Fiona, and a son, David. So, everyone's kind of happy, it's going great. Except for the fact that Edwin wasn't really the best father. He prioritized making inventions better than a vacuum over his son's birthdays. But I'm sure nothing bad will ever happen to them, so Fiona's dead. One year, she went to go help the crew working on Fall Fest. It's like a festival in the fall. Anyways, we're like 99% sure the whole place burned down. But no worries, it's not like your company's failing, your clients are slowly losing faith in you, and your employees are growing tired and they're working in your conditions. I'm sure you're ready to be a single father, you got this. So, Edwin's life is falling apart because he's trying to focus on MCN and David all by himself.
Oh, why did you go? You weren't even supposed to be there. You were supposed to be here with me and David. Oh, how am I supposed to tell David that his mother is gone? How am I supposed to raise a kid on my own? His life is ruined. My life is ruined.
And at some point he's like, you know what would make all this easier? Making a robot that acts like my dead wife. And so he does that. He creates M1, the Mimic. The Mimic's a size-changing, shape-altering endoskeleton that seems very advanced for the 70s, by the way, but so a lot of things later on, so don't mind that. It can fit into almost anything and mimic anything it needs to, whether that's a mascot for entertainment purposes, or Fiona Murray for parenting purposes. And with this perfectly normal new addition to the family, things seem just a tiny bit better. I'm sure nothing bad will happen to them from here on out, and so now David's dead. It probably wasn't the best idea to let a 5-year-old child unattended in a place like this. So, Edwin's a little devastated right now, but have no fear, for Fiona is here.
Well, what did you do the last time a family member died?
I made an AI to replace them.
What if we did that again?
Edwin is convinced after a bit, and he moves Fiona out of the mimic body, and M2 is born, with the sole purpose of mimicking David. On the business side of things, Edwin is occupied working on a massive project for one of his clients,
Fazbear Entertainment.
However, every time Edwin makes progress on something, Fazbear just shuts them down. Things like Fiona's old character designs, or his concept of a spring lock suit. Don't worry, once again you're going to hear more about those later. MCN was helpless to do anything, and to make matters worse for Edwin, someone was actively trying to sabotage his company. Enter William Afton, the purple guy. William was the businessman of Fazbear's. See, Well, Edwin was a major contributor to Fazbear, building all these things for them, electronics, suits, and costumes. So he saw himself as a friend of William Afton's and of Henry Emily's, who was another inventor-engineer that was a close friend of William's. William didn't see it that way. He saw MCM as a rival, a competitor, someone that would get in his way. So while Edwin was busy trying to deal with all the changes that Henry would tell him, William would use some not-so-ethical methods to get what he wanted, something he does a lot. William had a mole inside of MCM, trading company secret in exchange for ownership of a Fazbear location. Afton would start buying out employees from Murray, striking deals ensuring that the company would fail. Somewhere during this, Fazbear gained knowledge of the Mimic's existence, and they wanted that too. Eventually, Edwin lost. Everyone was gone and he was alone. Fazbear had taken every single employee from him, and also bought out the land that MCM was on, claiming every single asset and resource as their own. But don't worry, they were kind enough to leave his house untouched, so Fazbear would offer Murray a job as an engineer though, really trying to take away every single last thing that once was the Costume Manor as their own. So Edwin couldn't have been in a worse place right now, right? One day, M2 goes up to Edwin, still acting like his dead son by the way, and it was just a little too much for Edwin to deal with right now. Edwin will look at M2, go up to him, calmly and reasonably hit him with the Wombo combo. In hindsight, it might have been a bad idea to take this super robot designed to copy things and teach it violence. You know, just a thought, just saying. M1 tells Edwin that they should probably take action before it's too late, but he doesn't. Like, what's the worst that's gonna happen? So M2 managed to somehow blow up Murray's office, and it repairs itself as it's mocking him helplessly on the floor.
Test. Journal entry. Too bad the new power test was a failure. Due to a minor detonation, there is damage to my office interior, as well as a small fire. Note to self, a portable cleaner that gets rid of smoke damage. Oh, better yet, a Cleanovac attachment.
Help! M2! Respond! Emergency! Call for help!
Daddy's busy, buddy. Why don't you go outside and play?
Please! I can't move. I can't feel my legs.
You know, speaking of legs, what do you think? I just finished mine. There are still a few kinks to work out.
I'm sorry, M2. I lost my temper. I was always gonna fix you. Please, call for help. M2, respond.
Oh, can't right now, buddy. We can do something fun tomorrow. I promise. Ask your mom if she's not busy.
M2, help.
As of right now, the fate of Edwin Murray remains unknown.
Arnold. Hey, buddy. This is Dispatch with Fazbear Entertainment. How are you feeling?
After noticing that they haven't really heard from Edwin Murray in a while, Fazbear sends a ton of technicians over to get the stuff he was working on for them. It should be easy peasy. Every time they send someone over there, they don't come back. And they never hear from them again. But I'm sure it's fine. The latest of these technicians is Arnold. He is a little exhausted, but working 36-hour shifts is definitely worth that sweet $25 gift card. He's just a man who wants to do his job and then go home as soon as possible. So he reluctantly makes his way through the manor, listening to what he thinks is a Fazbear dispatcher, but really, he lost connection to that dispatcher the second he stepped in. This is Fiona, trying to use all the technicians that Fazbear keeps mindlessly sending in to find the Mimic's blueprints. Insert dangerous shenanigans of Arnold trying not to die horribly, and after Arnold finally gets that executive access he needs, well, the thing is that we don't really know what the canon ending of Secret of the Mimic is yet. Let's just go through them really fast. In one ending, he hands over the Mimic blueprints to M1, and then while driving home, he gets informed by the real dispatch officer that he's about to get fired. The Mimic then kills him as he was hiding in his van the whole time. In another ending, Arnold instead goes deeper into the manor to find M1, the Fazbear Works, and the Murray house. This version ends with MCM burning down, the Mimic getting on top of Arnold's van, and it attacks him. It leaves Arnold for dead in the burning remains, takes the data diver, and leaves. The third ending has Arnold confronting the Mimic and returning it back to its David state with the help of some pre-recorded bedtime stories. Personally, I like that second one a lot. But let's move away from all that for now and get back to these two. Hey, how's it going? Future Jay here, in case you couldn't tell by some clarity in my voice, because that guy decided it was perfect to record an hour's worth of FNAF while actively dying of a cough. This timeline is gonna take a whole lot longer to get through than I first thought, so I've decided I'm gonna split it into parts, which was not the plan before, so here I am. Anyways, this section only really covered the MCM, Murray, and Mimic stuff, but next time we're gonna really get into the main chunks of the lore that most people know and love. We're gonna actually get to Freddy's, we still got a bunch of deaths and murders to get through, and a whole ton of safety violations. So until next time, bye!